They say the most dangerous place to be is in a dream you never woke up from. Think about that. There are millions of people walking around right now, technically alive, but haven't felt alive in years. They're just going through the motions. They traded their soul, their spark, and their fire they used to have as kids for a routine that's slowly killing them. Think about your morning. You didn't even choose it. Your hand reached for the phone before your soul was even back in your body. You scrolled through the life of strangers, feeling that quiet, that heavy ache in your chest. The one that reminds you that you're falling behind. That's not living a day. You're executing a program. You're living a script written by your fears, by your parents, by a society that wants you tired and quiet. Now, I've been sitting here staring at this record button for longer than I want to admit. I was waiting for the perfect moment. But I realized that perfect is just a pretty word for scared. It's a trap. It's a polite way of saying not today. And not today is how you end up 70 years old looking back at life you never actually showed up for. We tell ourselves that waiting is a strategy. I'm here to tell you it's not. Waiting is a fear. It's a fear in a suit and tie. It's the ego way of keeping you safe so you never have to face the possibility of being great. I realized that if I waited until I was ready, I'd die with this message locked inside my head. So I'm hitting record now. Not because I'm ready, but because the pain of staying silent finally became greater than the fear of speaking out. So welcome to Juice Lab. This is episode 1. This isn't just content. This is an intervention. If you've been feeling like a passenger in your own car that's heading nowhere, it's time to grab the wheel. It's time to wake up and put 10 toes down. But it's hard to wake up when the world feels like it's a minefield, isn't it? It's hard to take the wheel when you have been crashed into so many times that you've forgotten how to drive without flinching. We need to talk about the world we live in right now. We became a culture of investigators. We don't enter rooms anymore. We enter crime scenes. We walk into new jobs. We gain new friends. And we take on new relationships, not looking for a soul to connect with, but looking for a reason to run. We've become so obsessed with protecting ourselves that we built a fortress around our hearts and call it discernment. We've turned our traumas into a checklist. We spent our first dates and our first conversations waiting, just waiting for that person to slip up. We sit there with a mental magnifying glass, hoping to find a flaw just so we can say, I knew it. I knew I couldn't trust you. Think about how exhausting that is. Think about the soul-crushing weight of sitting in front of a human being, someone who's just as scared and lonely as you are. And instead of listening to their hearts, we're checking a mental clipboard. You're judging the way they look at their phones, the way they phrased a sentence 3 minutes ago, or a mistake they made 5 years ago. The internet has convinced us that everyone is a villain, a narcissist, or toxic before they even had a chance to be human. We traded empathy for algorithm. We've traded messiness of real love for red flags. But listen to me. If you go into a gold mine looking for dirt, you're going to find it. You're going to find tons of it. It's everywhere. But you will leave that mine absolutely broke. We are so busy looking for a reason to leave that we've forgotten how to stay. We are so terrified of being fooled that we never allowed ourselves to be found. We stepping over our dusty diamonds because we're obsessed with dirt. We miss the person who is consistent, the person who shows up, the person who is kind. Just because they didn't fit the vibe of a 30-second TikTok list written by someone who was probably just as lonely as you are. A green flag isn't perfection. Perfection is a lie. A real green flag is a person who say, I'm messy, I got scars, and I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm here and I want to fix it. Now that's gold. But when you spend your life looking for red flags, you become blind to the green. You miss the heart of gold because you were too busy judging a single dent in the armor. You missed the calling of your life because you were too busy looking for the catch. Just remember, if you hunt for dirt, you will find it. But if you hunt for gold, you can build a home. Why are we so afraid of being wrong? Especially about someone that we refuse to ever be. Why are we choosing to be safe in a cage instead of being free in a mess. It's heavy. Living like a detective in your own life is exhausting. It's lonely. And honestly, it's not who we're meant to be. So let's take the armor off for a second. Let's step into the lab. Because if we're going to stop hunting for red flags, we have to learn how to actually grow the green ones. We talk about green flags like they're just an item on a checklist. But a real green flag is a scar. It's the person who has been through the fire, the person who's been burned and still chooses to be kind. It's the person who knows how easy it is to be toxic, but choose to be truthful instead. We've become a culture that cancels people the moment they show a crack. We want the finished diamond, but we're terrified of the pressure it takes to make one. But if you're only looking for people who are perfect, you're going to be lonely forever. Because perfection isn't a state of being. It's just a very well maintained lie. I need to be honest with you. Most of us aren't fine. We're just tired. We're tired of performing. We're tired of the global expectations and the pressure to have the vision when we're still just trying to figure out how to breathe. I'm sitting here talking to you about awakening. But there are days when my own light feels like a flickering candle in a hurricane. I'm not standing at the finish line calling you over. I'm in the trenches, reaching, telling you that I see your struggles. The mess in your life isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're still in the fight. We don't need no more influencers pretending that they have it all together. We need more brothers and sisters who are brave enough to say, I'm still under construction, but I'm still here. That's where the real juice is. It's in the grit, not the glitter. Why are we so afraid of the mess? The mess is where the growth happens. The mess is the only place where the soul actually learns how to fly. But being in the trenches doesn't mean you have to stay there. Admitting you're tired is the truth, but staying tired is a choice. We have acknowledged the mess. Now it's time to clean the lens. Because while we're sitting here contemplating our struggles, life is moving, and it's moving fast. I want to leave you with a fact that should keep you up all night, a fact that hunted me until I finally hit the red button and decided to speak. Scientists say the average human brain has about 60,000 thoughts a day, but 95% of those thoughts are exactly the same ones you had yesterday. Think about the weight of that. That means you aren't really living. You're just a ghost in the loop. You're replaying the same fears, the same judgments, and the same red flags. The same red flags that kept you small and lonely all last year. You're waking up in 2026, but your soul is still trapped in 2022. You're trying to build a future with the very thought that destroyed your past. But here's the bang. You have the power to break that loop at any second. Right now, actually. You don't need a buzzer to go off, and you damn sure don't need a sign from the universe. You just need to decide that today is the day that the ghost stopped hunting its own life. Today is the day you stop being a passenger in your own car. Stop looking for the exit. Stop looking for the red flags. That gives you an excuse to quit on a vision you know you were born for. Stop waiting for a permission slip that isn't coming. The only person who can stop the loop is the one looking back at you in the reflection of the screen. My final question for you is this. If you took all the energy you spent protecting yourself from being wrong and put the energy into being brave enough to be right, how fast would your world change? How fast would you actually start to feel alive? Don't just think about it. Be about it. If you're ready to stop being a ghost in the loop and start being a builder in the lab, join the movement. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. We drop in the juice every Sunday at 6 p.m. This isn't just a channel. It's a tribe. I'll see you in the comments. I'm out. Juice.